Hi guys, welcome to the Jenni Show. This is Jenni. So I thought I would do a vlog, and I've been waiting for like the guy, the mailman, the mail guy, for the whole day, and it's like 6 p.m. and he just got here. I'm like, is that kosher? You know when you're waiting for something and it's like, yes, the mail guy is here, and then what you want is not there. So I had people asking me about my high school experience and how long ago high school was, because I mentioned something on the last video, and I wanted to make this blog about a vow with a V. We just have a whole like different language here in the Jenni Show. It's like a whole new world. So about high school, people ask me, you know, what group was I in, if I was part of like the popular kids or whatever. I was not. I was never popular. Maybe to some people I was, you know, or some people just liked me or whatever, but I was never popular. I was a lot of a loner, and a lot of times I still am. Like I have a bunch of different groups that I float to and whatever. But for the most part, I never was like that kid that was like the kid. But I've always been weird, and all this gum chewing, I look like a cow. But I've always been weird, and my confidence has fluctuated over the years, especially in high school. But just like any other person, you know. But I think what made me survive in high school was filling my time with things that I love to do. So a lot of the times it was computer related. So I've always loved blogging. There used to be a group in AOL. This was back in the days, listen, dial up, whatever. But this was back in the days when that stuff was popular, AOL. And there was like an underground scene called the Zine World. And everyone had like their own little magazines for whatever, like fan fiction and stuff like that. And I used to participate in that. And I've always done writing and whatever, and different kind of arts. So I was into that. So whatever was happening in school, most of the time I was just like, oh, school sucks, people suck, whatever. I don't fit in. I'm not particularly social. So I'd go home and I'd participate in that, and I fit in there. That was my group of people. And you know, it sounds a little bit lame, like, oh my God, you know, online, whatever. But I don't think it's lame. I think it's wonderful. If you could participate in a social community, whether it's online or you know, someplace else or whatever, do it, because school is not your entire life. Like, you have to learn that. You have to learn that high school is BS, and once you leave high school, you have the chance to reinvent yourself. And that's what I did. I went to college, and there I was a lot, I was cut off. I was a lot more social than I was at high school. So I was involved in a whole bunch of stuff, and that was cool. It was lovely. It was amazing. You know, and that was that. But I also, during high school, I had the Zine World online, and I used to do blogs, and I started making websites, and eventually when I was in college, I also started doing YouTube. So it was like, you know, if this college thing doesn't work out socially, I have YouTube. And that sort of thing. And online, I've always been like a big presence online, because I feel like a lot of people think it's negative, but I think a lot of people let their guards down online, and they're a lot more social online. And that's because, you know, you are a little bit anonymous, even though, you know, your picture and your profile is out there, you're behind a computer. So people tend to be a little bit more comfortable. And I think that's a good thing for a lot of kids trying to socialize a little bit more, and it'll make them a little bit more confident in the real world if they kind of get themselves involved like that. As long as they do it safely and nicely, no bullying people, okay? But that was that, and that's kind of the way that I survived high school. I have been told, like, a lot of people did like me in high school, and a lot of people wanted to chill with me and thought I was a bee, a queen bee. Not cursing. But because I don't have a grin on my face all the time. Like, I used to walk around, you know, with the New York grill on my face. But that's just a thing. It was more so kind of a defense mechanism, and still today, like, it's just, I'm used to it. But I don't particularly have a smile on my face all the time because I don't like to invite people to conversation or to talk to me. And that's horrible. But the thing is, here in New York, a lot of men on the street feel the need to just be nasty, and it's street harassment. And that was kind of like a repellent towards people talking to me. It repels most people. Some people it really doesn't, and they still bother you or whatever. Sometimes I wish I could be more anonymous. You know what I mean? Like, in New York, you don't need to be a celebrity to be, like, followed around by some form of paparazzi or another. It's really crazy, okay? And I'm not hyping things up. It's the truth. Any girl will tell you, you go to any, like, place here in New York, and it's, like, every street corner, like, people are just bold, and you're like, dude, like, this is harassment. Like, I feel like a piece of meat, and I feel like I don't want to be bothered. Sounds antisocial, but hey, that's me. So this is the part that I talk to you guys about mean teachers and mean guidance counselors and people like that. In high school, you're not going to encounter just bullying from peers. You're going to encounter it from teachers. There are some teachers that are just so mean-spirited and they need to be fired, like, immediately. And I've seen a lot of people on YouTube and a lot of people on blogs talking about the same thing. There are some teachers that they're just, you know, while you have a lot of teachers that are great, amazing, and will just make your life that much better and make you who you are, there are teachers out there who will go through everything. They will go through hell and back to make your life miserable. I remember, this is a personal story. I remember in high school, I had this guidance counselor, and I'm not going to say her name, but she did not help me at all. And I started high school really rough. Like, my grades were not good, and I came from a specialized school, a specialized middle school. I was the smarty pants in the family my entire life, but I went to high school, and I was having growing pains, to tell you the truth. Like, I was discovering myself and trying to find out where I fit in the world. So, you know, I had this guidance counselor who, she was awesome to the kids that were having, you know, a great time in high school. So instead of helping the kids that were having a hard time, she was happy and thrilled to be friends with the kids that had straight A's and who didn't really need help, which is, like, counterproductive. Hello, you're supposed to be helping people that need help. It's kind of like a hospital or a church, like churches. Like, you want to go and diss gay people and you want to go and diss the outsiders. You people are supposed to be like a hospital. Like, you're supposed to treat the people who need help. This is the place that people come who need help. Anyway, social commentary 101. I used to go to my guidance counselor and she wouldn't help me. Like, she would just be like you're never going to make it. You should apply to community college. You should apply to, like, this and that. You're not going to graduate on time. Like, she was so negative all the time. And she would always be like with that attitude. And I kind of, like, my second year, I kind of stopped going to her and I avoided her at all costs. So whenever I'd see her, I'd, like, go the other way, take the other staircase. There's a lot of things with her. And a lot of my friends who had her, who were doing good in their classes, they were like, oh, what do you mean you don't like her? She's great. She's awesome. She's amazing. And I'm like, no. So whatever, like, she didn't help me in anything. She was negative. She was telling me that I wasn't going to graduate in time. I also had another teacher that would tell me the same. And it's like, be realistic, but also you have to help and you have to give hope to the hopeless, kind of thing. And I needed that person in my life, and I didn't have that person. So I kind of gave myself hope. I kind of was, you know, positive Patty. I don't know. We're creating names here on the Jenni Show. So I became positive for myself, and I made sure that I graduated on time. Things were happening left and right. I went through major growing pains, and people that went to high school with me know that all the way up to my very last day in high school, I was on the verge of not graduating. Like, I was going through a lot of problems in my life. And during high school was also the time where my dad passed away. Like, I went through a lot of stuff, and I was my own biggest strength. It sucks that way, that the adults weren't there for me and all these people weren't there for me, but I was my own biggest strength. And I kind of focused on art and focused on doing the things that I love to do outside of school so that I can kind of, you know, foster my creativity and confidence. So there was an event that almost kept me from graduating like 2 days before graduation, and I found a way all up to the very last minute of my time in high school. I found a way to graduate, and I graduated on time, and I got my Regents diploma, which here in New York City, it's like those city tests that if you pass, you get like a special diploma or whatever. So I did everything, and I got out of there, and I was so happy to leave high school because I didn't have any help, and it just sucked. And my advice to kids that are going through the same thing is find what you're good at. Discover hobbies. Go to as many clubs as possible in school. If there isn't a club for what you like, create a club. Find a teacher. That's what I did. I spoke to my Spanish teacher, and I was like, listen, there aren't any groups here for Hispanic kids, for Latinos, so I want to create my own group. So I did, and I did that in school. So whatever it is you like to do, if you like making Lego figurines or whatever, start a group for it, or join a group for it, or whatever. And if there's nothing in school, create one. If you don't have that option, go online and find a positive community. And that's pretty much that. Like, try to do those things. Fill your life with as much creativity and art or hobbies as possible. And try your best in school. Try your best to just finish strong and get out of there. Because once you leave, your life and the possibilities open up. People aren't as judgmental, or at least people grow up a little bit and kind of want to avoid the high school situation. So in college, people are way cooler. Yeah, and that sort of thing. Your confidence, I think the biggest thing to build it is to find what you're good at and become even better. And that's probably the biggest advice that I could give you. Yeah, so that's the end of this video. There'll be more because I have so many high school stories. That guidance counselor, by the way, she was at graduation, and when I was walking down, she gave me like a little smile, and I gave her a nod like, yeah, hate is gonna hate.